Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trevet.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows: World Facts, Bible Belts, In the Dictionary, the Olympic Games, I Beg Your Pardon, and Nature Study, where lots of peridot has been found on the island of Zeebrugge in this colorful sea off Africa. Player one?
Yeah!
Right. Player one? Let's go over to Jimmy.
Built with Andrew Carnegie's gift, the Peace Palace in this Dutch city houses the International Court of Justice.
Here's the correct response. The Hague. Player one. 1/3 of the people in this South American country live in Montevideo. Most of its 15 million sheep don't. The correct response is Uruguay. We return. Hordes of people know that Ulaanbaatar is this ancient Asian nation's capital. Here's the correct response. Mongolia. Please pick it. Mount Shikara in these mountains is the highest peak in Georgia, the country, not the state. Here's the correct response. The Caucasus. Player one. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says that if someone smiteth you here, offer also the other. It's player one. That's not it. Here's what we were looking for. On the cheek. Player one. After striking down his brother in Genesis, this man said, "My punishment is greater than I can bear." Okay, player one.
Yeah!
That is correct. Selecting. In Numbers chapter 20, after the Israelites complained, Moses smote one of these twice, and water came out. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. Player one. In a book named for Moses' successor, this man smites the Gibeonites, the Hebronites, and the Eglonites. Let's hear it, player one. Right you are. Please. In Judges, Samson whopped on 1,000 Philistines with this part of an ass. It's player one. No. Here's the correct response. The jawbone. Player one. It's a 7-letter synonym for majorette, from what she does with her baton. Let's hear it, player one. You got it. You again. This enclosed glass container is used to keep plants and small animals, such as turtles and lizards. Okay, player one. You are correct. Player one. Appropriately, the word volcano comes from the name of this Roman god. Okay, player one. Here's the response we were looking for. Vulcan. Here's Sarah.
In the pronunciation for the word circus, the U is an unstressed vowel and is marked with what looks like an inverted E, called this.
Okay, player one. Sorry. Here's what we wanted. Schwa. Player 1. The name of this horse breed tells us that it originated in the Perche area of France. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right.
Yeah! Woo!
You again, Player 1. You
one.
might have to get as high as 20 feet off the ground to win a medal in this field event. Player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the response we were looking for. The pole vault. We return. In the Olympic 400-meter relay final, this many runners compete together as a team. Here's what we wanted. 4. Player 1. Next to the marathon, it's the longest running event in the Summer Olympics. Here's what we wanted. The 10,000 meters. Player 1. It's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. Please enter your answer. Norway's Andreas Thorkildsen won a 2008 gold medal by throwing this 90.57 meters. Here's what we were looking for. The javelin. Player 1. Let's get Sarah's assistance on this clue.
Led by Angel de Maria, this South American powerhouse won its second consecutive gold in men's soccer at the 2008 Games.
Here's the correct response. Argentina. We return to Gerald Ford issued 382 pardons, but the one issued to this man in 1974 is said to have cost Ford the 1976 election. Okay, Player 1. Yes. Please. In 1994, he was pardoned for leading a coup versus the president of Venezuela. By 1999, he was the president. Yes, Player 1. Good. Player 1. In 2001, she was pardoned for a 1974 armed bank robbery and for using a firearm during a felony. Here's what we wanted. Patty Hearst. We return. The Wall Street Journal wanted an immediate pardon for him after his perjury conviction in the Valerie Plame case. Here's the response we were looking for. Scooter Libby. Player 1. This Secretary of Defense was pardoned for his role in Iran-Contra. We're talking about Caspar Weinberger. Select again. An oil called urushiol causes skin irritation when you brush up against this three-leafed plant, Rus radicans. Yes, Player 1? Good. Player 1. Let's go to the Clue Crew for this next clue.
These spore-producing plants are among the Earth's most ancient. Some species date back more than 300 million years.
Here's the response we were looking for. Ferns. Player 1. Like fish, mushrooms have these, but in a mushroom, they're where the spores are produced. Yes, Player 1? Yes. You again, Player 1. The northern fur species of this migrates from its breeding grounds in Alaska's Pribilof Islands to California. Here's what we were looking for. The seal. And the last clue for $1,000. The freshwater peach blossom type of this sticky colenterate is making a comeback in China's Jilin Lake. Here's the correct response. The jellyfish. The Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. Colleges and universities. The calendar. College football coaching legends. One world. Science. And right on, soldier. Let's get the trustees of the College of California bought 160 acres of land north of Oakland and named the site this in 1866. Here's the response we were looking for. Berkeley. Player 1. This Tulsa college was founded by and named for an evangelist, later the school's chancellor. Here's the correct response. Oral Roberts University. We return. Founded as a Methodist college in 1838, it moved to Durham, North Carolina in 1892. Here's the response we were looking for. Duke University. Please. The athletic teams of this Massachusetts college are nicknamed the Lord Jeffs. The correct response is Amherst College. Player 1. And here's Jimmy.
The modern sport of bungee jumping got off the ground in 1979 when this school's dangerous sports club jumped off a bridge in Bristol, England.
Here's the response we were looking for. Oxford. Player 1. The Chinese assign each year an element as well as an animal. 1972 got rat and water, and 1976, dragon and this. Player 1? Yes. Please. 2 of the 4 months without a U.S. federal holiday. Let's hear it, Player 1. Here's the response we were looking for. March and April. Please pick it. March 25th was this day in Britain until adoption of the Gregorian calendar in 1752. It's Player 1. No, sorry. Here's what we wanted. New Year's Day. Player 1. If you subtract the number of days in 2013 from the number of days in 2012, you'll end up with this many days. Player 1? Right. We return. At its center, the famous Aztec calendar stone depicts Tonatiuh, the god of this. Here's the correct response. Sun. Select again. Woody Hayes, 1951 to 1978. The correct response is Ohio State. Player 1. Bo Schembechler, 1969 to 1989. We're talking about Michigan. Player 1. Tom Osborne, 1973, 1997. Here's the correct response. Nebraska. Player 1. Bobby Bowden, 1976 to 2009. Here's the correct response. Florida State. Please. Answer. The first of the 2 daily doubles. You are in the lead right now. Decide on your wager, Player 1. And the daily double clue. Vince Dooley, 1964 to 1988. No, that's not right. Here's the response we were looking for. Georgia. Player 1, back. To completely reverse your direction while driving is to pull one of these. Let's hear it, Player 1. No. Here's the response we were looking for. A 180. You get to. A popular koan, or meditation subject of Zen Buddhism, asks the student to try to imagine this sound. Here's what we were looking for. One hand clapping. Player 1. Answer? The second daily double. You are in first place. How much? Answer this. Numerical name for Scheherazada's tales. That's correct. Select again. Title of playwright Moss Hart's autobiography. Here's what we were looking for. Act 1. Player 1. Based in Chicago, this financial services provider merged with J.P. Morgan Chase in 2004. Here's the response we were looking for. Bank 1. Player 1. It's the weakest of the 4 basic forces, but it's strong enough to keep the moon orbiting the Earth. Yes, player 1? Right.
Yeah! Woo!
You get Jimmy?
A cubic inch of material contains 1,000,000 billion billion of these, each with protons and neutrons in its nucleus.
It's player 1. Yep. You get to changes in the tropospheric layer of this are what give us weather. It's player 1.
Yeah!
That's correct. You again. To test deep water structures, wave tanks generate waves, wind, and this water flow, from the Latin for running. Here's the response we were looking for. Current. Player 1. The name of this 8th element is from a Greek word meaning sharp. We're talking about oxygen. You get to pick a student at Sandhurst. He later served in British military intelligence before creating his British super spy. We're talking about Ian Fleming. Player 1. This author of Starship Troopers was a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. Here's the correct response. Robert Heinlein. You get Lew Wallace served as a major general in this war before penning Ben-Hur. Here's what we were looking for. The Civil War. Player 1. Edward Gibbon was a captain in the Hampshire Grenadiers before writing The Decline and Fall of this empire. Here's the correct response. The Roman. And now the $2,000 clue. This Grecian fought at Salamis and Marathon. His 70 plays include The Oresteia and Prometheus Bound. Here's the response we were looking for. Aeschylus. I'll see you for Final Jeopardy in just a moment. Consider your wagers carefully as you think on this category. Authors. So, what's your wager? Now, let's reveal the Final Jeopardy clue. In 1949, he wrote, "If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever." And your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? This makes you our new champion, Player 1, so congratulations. Thanks for playing. We'll see you next time.